Yoga, religion. For most of us, those two words live on totally different planets. One sounds like something you do at a gym, right? It's all about wellness, getting flexible. The other, well, that can feel really old, maybe a bit heavy, full of rules and rituals. But what if I told you that deep down, at their absolute core, they are pointing to the exact same thing? That's what we're going to do here. We're going to strip away all the baggage and get right to their shared and pretty surprising DNA. So, okay, let's just start with the words themselves. The word yoga, it literally means to join. And the word religion, if you trace it back to its Latin roots, it means to bind back together. Are you seeing it? To join, to bind back together. It's kind of wild, right? Both of these powerful ideas are all about connection, about reuniting something that apparently got split apart. And that just naturally leads to the big question. Exactly. Join what? Bind what back together? This is the central puzzle that both of these traditions are trying to solve, and the answer is just fascinating. It's this idea that right now, you and I are basically living life as two separate selves. And the whole point of these practices is to put them back together again. So let's break down this idea of our two selves. Because on the one hand, there's the you that everyone sees, the you that exists out here, in the physical world, day in and day out. We can call this the observed self. This is the you that lives in space and time. It's the person you see when you look in the mirror, the one with a name, a job, a whole life story. It's the self you can physically point to, the object of your own attention. But then there's the observer. And this is the consciousness that's behind all of that. It's the silent witness that's just aware. It's aware of your thoughts, your feelings, everything you see and hear. It's not the thoughts themselves, but the pure, simple awareness of the thoughts. It's the part of you that is actually doing the looking. And here is where it gets really mind-bending. Both yoga and religion are essentially looking at us and saying, hey, you know that gap you feel between the one who's watching and the one who's being watched? Yeah, that's an illusion. They claim that these two selves aren't actually separate at all. They are, and they always have been, one and the same. The whole spiritual journey is just about waking up to that fact. So, okay, if they aren't really separate, then why on earth does it feel so real? I mean, it feels pretty obvious that I'm me and the rest of the world is out there. Well, the reason isn't some big cosmic accident. It's more like a really, really deep-seated case of mistaken identity. Just think about it for a second. If someone asked you, who are you? What's your automatic response? You'd probably point to yourself, right? You'd say your name, you'd think about your body, your thoughts, your feelings. This quote here nails it. Our default setting is to believe that this physical, observable part of us is the whole story. Now, this isn't some philosophical choice we make. The source material calls it habitual identification, and it's exactly what it sounds like. A habit, a really deep one that's actually wired into our biology, into our neurology. We have this powerful, automatic tendency to stamp our sense of I onto our body and our mind. And you can see here how that one little habit creates this massive ripple effect. So step one, we identify our pure awareness with our physical self. Okay, we do that. Well, that immediately leads to step two. We start seeing everything else, the chair we're sitting in, the sky outside, other people, as fundamentally separate from us. And what's the result? Step three, the whole world shatters into a million little pieces of me and not me. We completely lose sight of the fact that it was all connected to begin with. But this is where yoga and religion come in with their big, incredible promise. The goal isn't to get away from the world. It's not about escaping anything. It's about completely changing how we see it. It's about learning a whole new way of looking at everything. And let's be super clear on this, because it's a huge misconception. This isn't about trying to make the world and all its problems and all its beauty just vanish. It's not about checking out and floating away into some peaceful void. No, the real goal is to finally see the world for what it actually is. Just a constant flow of that one single consciousness, which is the real you. And when that little perceptual switch flips, the world suddenly stops feeling like a collection of strangers and separate things. It just starts to feel like a much friendlier place to be. And the payoff for making the shift is, well, it's huge. This isn't just a neat idea to think about. The promise here is that when you dissolve that feeling of separation, you find what they call true happiness. Your life fills up with this deep sense of love and purpose, and you can tap into what the Source calls a stupendous inner joy. But here's the absolute key. You can't just think your way there. This isn't an intellectual puzzle you can solve. It has to be felt. It has to be experienced. It's a physical process, something that actually changes how you function, right down to your biology and your brain. The direct experience has to come first, and then your thoughts and your feelings will just naturally catch up. Okay, I know, this all sounds really big, maybe even a little out there. So the natural question is, how do you actually do it? What's the first step on this path to union? The very first step is to simply make contact with that inner observer, that quiet awareness that's already inside you. And while there are a lot of ways people try to do this, the source material points to one very direct path, a practice that's called beep meditation. It's presented as the key that really unlocks the door to that inner world. And you know what the best part is? You don't have to wait for years to start feeling a difference. It's kind of like this chart shows. Even a small, consistent daily effort, that's your investment, can give you this huge immediate return. Things like a real sense of peace and just relief from the absolute chaos of our modern lives. But I can hear what you're thinking. Daily effort? Seriously? I have a hard enough time just remembering my keys. Yeah, the idea of adding one more daily thing to the to-do list can feel like a lot. And yet the source material could not be more clear about this. A real commitment to a regular daily practice is non-negotiable. It's essential. In fact, it says, pretty bluntly, that if you don't have that, you're basically just wasting your time. Consistency really is the key that makes the whole thing work. And that brings us to the final and maybe the most powerful idea of all. The guide you're looking for, the teacher with all the answers, the source of real wisdom, it's not in a book. It's not on a mountain somewhere. It's that very same consciousness you're trying to reconnect with in the first place. The guru is and always has been right there inside you.